What is up, YouTube? It's Coffee, back with an update, man. Some NFL talk, a story that I would say shocked the world, man. The Blind Side, the movie that told us the story of Michael Oher, a underprivileged young man who was basically fending for himself on the streets, and the Tui family took him in and, gave him a warm, loving home and helped him get his academics together and go on to play college football and make it to the NFL. Just this heartwarming story, The Blind Side. Everyone's seen it, right? And about a year or so ago, we saw that Michael Oher was suing the family and was saying that a lot of this wasn't the way it was, put out there to us, that we had been lied to, the world had been lied to, and he had been lied to by this family, that they really, he's elaborating on it now is the update. This is the first time he sat down with a media outlet to tell his side of the story. And how about this? The family still refusing to comment, no comment, as he has this lawsuit against him. And I gotta tell you, I feel Michael on this, like big time, man. Like, let's just get right into it. It's, listen, some people do nice things for people just out of the kindness of their hearts to help people. And typically when people do that, you don't need to go around and tell everyone and brag about it and secure the rights to Michael Oher's life story and turn it into a book that's later turned into a movie. And that's exactly what this family did, and they received millions of dollars off it, while Michael Oher got nothing. Nathan, zero. And it seems so much about when he realized that things weren't exactly the way that he thought they were in regards to this family, and they weren't so honest, and maybe they were greedy and attention seeking. It just all has to do with this movie, and it really seems like he's personally struggling with his own identity, and that involves this movie as well. And I feel him big time on this. Get in the comments and let me know all your thoughts, but check it out. The headline to this article says, Michael Oher speaks out for the first time since filing the lawsuit. But check it out what it says next. The first time I heard I love you, it was Sean and Leanne Tui saying it when it happens at 18. So at the age of 18, that was the first time that Michael was hearing I love you. You become vulnerable. You let your guard down, and then you get everything stripped from you. It turns into a hurt feeling. So think about that. We saw, and he says the movie was very inaccurate, but some of the things that were accurate were how tough life was for Mike, and like he's struggling to find his identity. Like I said, we're gonna get to all that, and I feel him on that, man. I'm adopted. You wonder about, who am I really? What is my bloodline really like? And just different things of that nature. Believe me, I'm not trying to compare my story to Michael Oher's story. I'm just saying I relate to someone taking me in that was not my biological parents. And there's so much to it, but think about that. That was the first time he was told I love you, and he became vulnerable. He's letting you know right there. It felt so great. I'm 18 years old. Never was told. No one ever told Mike they loved him before. And he's in this warm home. It's a loving home. They're buying him clothes and all that and everything, right? But you let your guard down and it all gets stripped away from you. So something that felt so great turned out to be nothing but heartache and pain for him, because as they're bringing him in the home and taking care of him, again, they're putting together, they get a conservatorship so they can, be in charge of his money, his life decisions, etc. And there's something real shady about this conservatorship we'll get to a little later in this video, but they get that all put in play. And then they collaborate with an author who writes this book, which then later becomes the movie known as The Blind Side. And it was all based on the narratives that they came up with in their collaboration with the author, not Mike. So they got millions for all that. Mike got nothing. They're the ones that collabed and told the story, not Mike. So think about that all. It's just all so crazy. And again, when you just want to help someone, you can just help them. You don't got to go brag about it. You don't got to go make $1 million off selling their life story. That's crazy if you really think about it, man. And, just imagine, again, feeling like, man, someone loves me. This is what it's like to have a loving family. Oh, wait, they're just finessing me at the end of the day. It's pretty fucking sad. And again, so much about this movie, you can tell Mike really struggles with personally. It hurt him in so many ways. Now, in regards to the comments about love and everything, Mike went on to say, I don't want to make this about race, but what I found out was that nobody says I love you more than coaches and white people. When black people say it, they mean. Jump in the comments with your thoughts about that. I'm sure some people will view that as controversial, no question. Mike saying he doesn't want to make this a race thing. He's just sharing his own personal experiences from his life. That's how he feels. Now, everything wasn't negative, what he had to say in regards to the family. He still expressed some positive stuff, the comfort that he felt within the Tui home, right? He says, honestly, it was great. He set up his time with the family who bought him clothes and set him up with the tutor to make him eligible to play college football, among other things. I had a bed to stay on. I was eating good. They got me a truck. He added of his time with Sean, Leanne, and their 2 kids. But again, think about that. Like, that's great. He's not out in the streets fending for himself, wondering where his next meal is going to come from. They're putting clothes on his back, a roof over his home. He's feeling loved. He's spending quality time with the family. They bought him a truck. But again, what they also did was put together this play to get this book, this movie, and make a bunch of money, millions, and for him to make nothing. But he still did have some positive things to say in regards to his time, like y'all just heard. But check it out, when it comes to The Blind Side, and like I was saying, you can just tell more and more by what he's talking about that this movie just has him all twisted in a lot of ways, and where he saw that this family wasn't being totally honest. He said that, immediately, because the way it all went, the book came out, the movie came out right when he was getting drafted and going pro. It's almost like the family, did it all that way, projected a plan and put it in play to strategically have this all roll out and drop right when he was going to go pro. And he says this gave him this like big public identity on a movie that he felt was really inaccurate. And I feel like maybe he read the book, or someone read the book and talked to him and everything, because it seems he already might have had some negative feelings about this all, because he didn't show up to the movie premiere. And when he finally watched the movie, he said that he felt like it was a comedy about someone else. Like, that's not me. That's not my story. That's the story they told. And when he got to the NFL, he already had this identity about him where some of the stuff, what he's saying is inaccurate, is they made him look like he was stupid, like he was a moron. When he got drafted, the coaches actually felt like he wouldn't be able to read a playbook. Can you believe that? And social media was becoming more and more popular at this time. And think about it, guys, this was a big movie. Everyone was talking about this movie. So he's seeing tweets and posts and just probably memes and all kinds of stuff about how Michael Oher is dumb. And he's sitting here like, that's inaccurate. That's not really real. And he was saying he still struggles with this to this day about who he really is, that the whole world is seeing this false identity of him and him being stupid, and people look at him this way, and he worries with his kids, like in school, they might get a bad grade on a paper and the teachers are going to be like, oh, that's Michael Oher's kid. He's not the brightest crayon in the box. The apple don't fall from the tree, or fall far from the tree. Apologies, y'all. Now, we said the lawsuit isn't about the money. He didn't use the words, but I'm saying from what I gather from reading this interview, right, that it's just about the principles of it all. That, again, this family received millions of dollars. They had a conservatorship over him. They collaborated and created this inaccurate story that, again, when he watched it, he felt like this was satirical comedy about someone else, not him. And, like it all comes out right when he's getting to the NFL and people are coming at him like he's this guy on this movie screen that he's not. And he says, I worked hard for that moment when I was done playing and saved my money so I could enjoy the time. He added, telling the magazine that he's fine and currently has millions of dollars. So, he's retired now. He managed his money well while he played. He's good financially. He's still sitting on some M's. Now he can focus on himself, on Mike, on getting back to finding himself. Because like I said, man, I'm adopted. I'm not saying my story is just like Michael Oher's, but I'm saying anyone out there, if you were adopted or you were in foster care and stuff, you struggle with your identity, who you are. That's something everyone goes through in life. People with normal lives, they want to find themselves. But when you have a different kind of upbringing or hardships in life, it's something totally different when it comes to finding yourself. And then again, think about Mike, who never heard from anyone that they loved him until he was 18. And then these people had this plan in place all behind your back. It's kind of wild. And when he was asked about why he just filed this lawsuit about a year ago, he said that he had other things on his mind. Pro football is a hard job. You have to be locked in 100%. I went along with their narrative because I really had to focus on my NFL career, not things off the field. So think about that, man. In the NFL, you could be here today, gone tomorrow, right? You get hurt, which I think Oher did actually have an injury. You could have a bad season, get cut. Like it's a demanding job, and it takes a physical toll on your body. You got to be focused. He didn't have time to deal with all this. He busted his ass to get to the pros. And that's what he had to focus on. Like, this is some major stuff. You can tell that's been eating at him. But again, now he's retired. He saved his money. He's good financially. He wanted to, take on this chapter of his life now, and I feel him on that. He said for a long time, or said he was also so angry mentally with the situation he was going through. He told the magazine, now he just wants to find himself again. I want to be the person I was before The Blind Side, personality-wise. I'm still working on it. And again, I feel him, man. I mean, listen, like, dude had a crazy life, and he still is showing love to these people, but they did some shady shit to him. And, he wants to rewrite the narrative. So often people rewrite history books. This is something, just outside of what we're talking about here with Michael Oher. But listen, y'all know what it is. Anyone out there, right? If you went to school, the curriculum, the textbooks don't always tell the truth. Just as the Native Americans and story of Thanksgiving, or just many other fucked up things. That's just one example. There's a million situations where history has been rewritten, right? But typically the individuals that got lied on don't get the opportunity to rewrite history and set things straight. And that's what it seems like Michael Oher is doing, while at the same time trying to let the world know, hey, this big movie that y'all saw, this heartwarming story, it wasn't 100% true, and that wasn't me. You know what I mean? Do y'all know what I went through over this? I got to the NFL, and people thought that I couldn't read a playbook. They thought that I was a moron. Everyone online, when the movie was trending, thought I was a dummy. I still worry if my kids are gonna, have that stigma follow them around. This ain't what it is. We gotta correct this. Now check this out too, y'all. Like I was saying about the conservator shit being shady. Listen to this. This is something else on top of everything else, which once again, they just wanted to take them in and be good people. They didn't have to try to put this movie out and make millions, right? And they didn't also have to have a conservatorship. But peep this. It says, a month after the retired NFL star filed his lawsuit last August in the Shelby County, Tennessee probate court, the probate court judge, Kathleen Gomes, dissolved the conservatorship Sean and Leanne established when Oher turned 18. Established in '04, the conservatorship gave the Tua family control over Oher's money and big life decisions, despite the fact that he had no known disabilities, as is required by Tennessee state law. At the time, Gomes said that she had never seen a conservatorship agreement reached with someone who was not disabled in her 43-year career. So peep that, guys. The conservatorship to me totally was shady, but the judge dissolves it and says, man, this basically isn't even legal. By Tennessee law, you have to have a known disability. Mike doesn't have one. How did they do this? And that's like almost seems like a part of this false story that they put out there, that Mike's like, that's not me. That's a comedy about someone else. They got me looking like I'm a dummy, like I'm slow, and I need a conservatorship. You know, obviously the timelines match up a little differently, but I'm saying it was all a plan in play. If you really look at it, man, they finessed Mike, and I get it, man. I totally feel him 100% why he's doing this. And I hope he wins the lawsuit. I hope they got to break bread and pay him back for this, what's it called? This book deal and movie deal and all the money they made off his life story while he didn't get anything. Like, yes, they put a roof over his head, food in his stomach, clothes on his back, got him a tutor. But obviously they were looking to gain financially by this. They were looking to get attention by this, and they wanted to tell the story from their vantage point. They didn't even like have Mike be a part of that at all. That's also grimy, if you ask me, man. And I don't know, the civil lawsuits still ongoing. I'm rooting for Mike to win. Comment, everyone, and let me know what you think about it all. And once again, you see this whole thing play out. He had to focus on football. He's retired. He's good financially. He's trying to find himself. And I'm just glad he's getting the story out there. So there it is. There's the update. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. Subscribe and stay tuned for updates, y'all. Peace.